how many Otters can we make in Bloomburrow Standard with the help of Stormsplitter and Insidious Roots? That's what we're going to find out today. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition in our first Bloomburrow Standard edition of Against the Odds, and we have a spicy one today. We are heading to our new standard format to see just how many Storm Splitters we can make with Insidious Otters Storm. So let's talk about this deck, how it's trying to combo off with Storm Splitter, jump into some games, and see just how many Otters we can make to kill our opponent with. So we are built around Stormsplitter. Stormsplitter, a 4-mana 1/4 with haste. It's an Otter wizard, and its text is when you cast an instant or sorcery, create a token that's a copy of it, exile the token at the beginning of the next end step. So the idea of Stormsplitter is you play it, you cast some instant or sorceries, you make more of them, they have haste, you can use them to kill your opponent. And the cool thing about this card is just how fast the token copies grow. So if we have a Stormsplitter, we cast a spell, then we have 2 Stormsplitters, which means the next spell we cast, we have 4, the next one we cast 8, 16, and then 32, and then 64, and then 128, and then our opponent just dies to millions of Stormsplitters. But we're not just trying to make enough Stormsplitters to kill our opponent, we are trying to make the most Stormsplitters possible. So how do we combo with this card in Standard? And the answer is Insidious Roots. And this is one of the weirdest Insidious Roots decks I've ever seen, because we don't really care about the plant mode too much. We're not really built to get creatures to leave our graveyard. Instead, we're playing this just because it lets our tokens tap for mana. So the idea is, as we play a Stormsplitter and start casting spells, the token copies it makes can be tapped to make mana so we can cast more spells, so we can make more Stormsplitters, and this lets us go functionally infinite and draw through our entire deck, make the token limit of Stormsplitters, use it to kill our opponent. So these are the 2 key pieces of the deck. To do our thing, we need both of these cards. Backing up these cards, we get a bunch of spells, and 2 of the most important are our plot spells, Pitiless Carnage and Highway Robbery. So if you think about how this deck actually works, ideally we'll play Insidious Roots early in the game, and then Stormsplitter is going to be at least 4 mana. Really, usually we want 5 mana, so we have 1 extra mana when we play it to start comboing off. The key aspect, though, of Pitiless Carnage and Highway Robbery is they are instants or sorceries in this case that we can plot, and then we can cast them for free after we have Stormsplitter down. So this is a way that we can start the combo, even if we have no extra mana. So we have Insidious Roots, we play the Stormsplitter, we Highway Robbery, get a token copy of Stormsplitter, and then we Pitiless Carnage, and Pitiless Carnage is amazing in this deck, because as we go into our combo turn, we can just sacrifice all of our lands, and we don't really care, because we're planning on winning right away anyway. A little bit risky, it could go wrong, but that's the main plan. Plus, once we start comboing and we have a bunch of tapped Stormsplitters, we can kind of sack them all for free. So once we start comboing, we can literally just draw our entire deck with Pitiless Carnage, which guarantees we win. But as I said, the key aspect of these cards is they are essentially free sorceries that we can cast on the turn we play Stormsplitter to start making token copies so we can snowball and win the game. The rest of the deck is a bunch of spells. Cachet Grab digs for our combo pieces, Herb Repossession gets our combo pieces back from the graveyard, Mosswood Red Knight Questing Order are pretty cute in the deck. Because they're adventures, they both have cheap spell modes that work with the combo, but they're also creatures, so they're cards we can like get with Cachet Grab or get back with Herb Repossession. Go for the Throat from some removal, although we can actually use it as a combo piece. Once we get like 4 or 8 or 16 Stormsplitters, we can just go for the Throat, one of our tap copies, to like double the number of Stormsplitters, and that's essentially the plan of the deck. Stormsplitter, Insidious Roots, sling a bunch of spells, use the Stormsplitter copies to make mana thanks to Insidious Roots, which lets us draw and play our entire deck and make the biggest board of Stormsplitters to win the game. Mana base, pretty straightforward standard stuff, and that is Insidious Otters Storm. That's our Against the Odds deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see if the combo of Insidious Roots and Stormsplitter can make the most Otters ever in the history of Magic. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. We've got new tokens and playmats, and you can even get the tokens signed if you want. Check them all out over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Against the Odds time, we are doing some Otter storming in Bloomburrow Standard, seeing just how absurd Stormsplitter can be with Insidious Roots. And this hand, we got the combo pieces. We'll give it a try. We even have the Pitiless Carnage, which is our best draw engine. See how fast our opponent's draw is. Opponent seems to be some sort of Jeskai deck, maybe? Ooh, all right, Clayfired Bricks. Well, that's a good sign. Our opponent is not super aggro, at least, if they're playing that. So hopefully that means we can get things set up. Let's get on the Roots. So the idea is, Roots lets us tap our Stormsplitter tokens for mana. So then once we get Stormsplitter going, in theory, we just combo off, ooh, Esoteric Duplicator. Opponent's deck does look spicy. And make infinite-ish Stormsplitters and win the game. I think getting down Pitiless Carnage is probably best. That gives us something that we can cast for free, so we might be able to combo next turn. 2 more turns would be easier, because the first Stormsplitter makes 1 token, which is 1 mana, but we have nothing in the graveyard yet for Orborg Repossession. We really want a turn of, like, Cachet Grab plus fill the graveyard, and then combo off. We could try to go for it next turn, but we might fizzle. The Cachet Grab not only will hopefully get us a land, but maybe we'll get a creature in the graveyard. Fabrication Foundry, our opponent's going to keep ramping. Legion Extruder, sure. Opponent's getting the artifact machine set up. Well, there's a land. Do that first, before the Surveil land. Yeah, let's take Questing Druid. Make a plant. And then Surveil land. Keep the land. And, so we can Urborg Repossession the Stormsplitter. Let's just wait. I think it's better next turn to trigger Stormsplitter. All right, well, this is it. Opponent needs to blow up the Roots or leave up removal or a counter or something this turn. Otherwise, we should be able to do the thing and win the game. Hopefully. It might be Otter Storm time. It might finally be Otter Storm time. All right, opponent. Might Stone. Okay, that is fine. Might Stone a Weak Stone. Draw 2. So our opponent's essentially tapped down. Okay, well, I think we should be able to win here, especially with this Pitiless Carnage hanging out. How do we sequence this? So we play Stormsplitter. And now we can make a black mana, Urborg Repossession, get back to Stormsplitter, doesn't really matter, just triggering. So we make a token. The token has haste, the token taps for mana. We get a bonus plant that doesn't really matter. And then play the land. 1 and 2. We can Questing Druid, Seek the Beast. Now we make 2 tokens, so it's 2 more mana. And this is where, ooh, another Questing Druid. So this is where it should be unfizzleable, I think, especially with the Pitiless Carnage. Seek the Beast. Trigger, 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 trigger. Now we're up to 4 mana. And there's a Cachet Grab. So 1, 2. Let's just Mosswood Dread Knight. Doesn't really matter. So now we get 8 Stormsplitters. Wow, this went super easy. Is this what turn? Is this turn 4? Is this turn 4 infinite? Turn 5 infinite. I mean, now we just cast some spells, cast some Insidious Roots. I guess doesn't really matter. I don't think there's any way we can fizzle from here. Cachet Grab. Trigger, 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 trigger. And I don't even think we need the Pitiless Carnage. Like, so the idea of Pitiless Carnage is, once we make a bunch of tokens, we can just sack all the tapped ones and sack all of our lands and draw as much of our deck as we want. So Cachet Grab, and this is already, well, let's cast one more spell. We'll just kill a Stormsplitter, sure. Do a little flexing with a go for the throat. Make 33 new Stormsplitters. Splinter Twin, it's back. It's just Insidious Roots and Stormsplitter. It's back. The power and toughness is exactly like comboing with Felidar Guardian. All the hasty 1/4s. Opponent. All right, here's the triggers, and I mean we could keep going, but out of respect for our very dead opponent, we'll just swing with some Stormsplitters. Here comes the Otters, and well, that went way better than I would have expected. That's Otterstorm. That's how you go off with Stormsplitter and Insidious Roots. Sweet. Otterstorm time. Doing some Insidious Roots Otterstorming in Bloomburrow Standard. Seeing how busted Stormsplitter can be. Gonna keep that Cachet Grab. This hand has a lot of card draw, which is nice. Does not have a lot of combo pieces. No Roots, no Stormsplitter. Those are the two big ones. Let's just pass, and we can Cachet Grab, I think. We need, ooh, opponent getting a little hasty here. Instead, we will just go for the throat. Kill the mouse. Well, there's our red mana. Let's play Blooming Marsh. And now I think, yeah, let's just draw with the Mosswood Red Knight. We still need multiple pieces. The thing is, Cachet Grab is even better. Ooh, Mabel. Cachet Grab's even better if we draw roots, because then we can potentially trigger it and make a plant, which makes mana. So, well, now I think we actually have to Cachet Grab. Well, there's the roots. Okay, that is step 1. And play the land, and we're going to take our beats here, I think, and get down the roots. Mice are super scary, though. I feel like dedicated aggro decks probably our scariest matchup, because they can just, like, mice can deal so much damage. If they have, like, the double strike mouse in a pump spell, we're, all right. Prowess mouse, and equips, and we take a ton. Well, I guess we gotta, draw forest. We kind of need to, like, win the game this turn almost. We might be able to survive one more turn, and even that's not a guarantee. Do we plot Highway Robbery or draw with Questing Druid? Highway Robbery is much better if we just top deck Stormsplitter. Yeah, we're gonna, I think we just gotta go greed mode. Like, we just gotta hope we survive and top deck Stormsplitter. And if that happens, we might be able to just combo kill. We also might just die right here, even through a chump blocker. Very interesting set, Bloomburrow. I think it's one of the best aggro sets we've had in a long time. Standard's gonna get, well, it'll be interesting. A best of 1 standard is gonna be absurdly aggressive, I think. Best of 3, all right, removal on the Dread Knight. I mean, technically we're not dead yet, right? Although these pain lands are going to be a problem. Opponent attacks. Oh, you got to pump. Well, okay. Yeah, just mouse things. Well, that's the mouse deck. It does that very often. Otter Storm, Insidious Roots, Stormsplitter, Otter Storm in Bloomburrow Standard. That sounds fine. Got a bunch of card draw. Hopefully it finds our combo pieces. Opponent, Season Warren Guard, sure. Well, Copperline, George, go. So we just played mice, and mice are super aggro. You know what else? The 2 biggest aggro tribes, I think, in Bloomburrow, mice and rabbits, can just pour on a ton of damage. I think those are also probably our toughest matchups. Because we really need to, like, a few turns of setup, and if we're just dying to the beatdown on, like, turn 3, we do not have enough time to get Stormsplitter going. About it. Gets in with the wabbit. Well, we could run out Questing Druid as a chump blocker, and that feels so bad, especially against their biggest creature being a trampler. I think we just gotta plot and pray. The old plot and pray. There you go, opponent land. Hop to it. Okay, so that's a 5/5 trampler and a 3/2 1-drop, and we're at 11 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're actually just straight up dead on board next turn. Yeah. Well, all right. Well done, bunnies. Well done. We are doing some Insidious Roots Stormsplitter comboing in Bloomburrow Standard. Set actually looks very good. We got Insidious Roots, we got some card draw, we got a Cachet Grab, which can do a little digging to find the Stormsplitter. That's the missing piece of the puzzle. Hopefully it's not an aggro deck on the play. My god. We don't have that. I mean, we have to go for the throats, but it's not like we're a super removal heavy deck, so that's kind of the challenge against aggro, especially if aggro's on the play. Ugh. Hard to get to Stormsplitter before we die. Blooming Marsh go. So far, Bloomburrow seems really sweet. I'm really liking this. I'm very curious what Standard's gonna look like when it's all said and done. I feel like Standard is gonna, I mean, obviously we're getting rotation too, which helps, but I think, ooh, all right, speaking of aggro, there's a 3rd aggro creature type in Bloomburrow, which is Otter Prowess. Although Otter Prowess is a little less likely, I think, to kill you on like turn 3 or 4 than mice or rabbits. I feel like it's a little slower, but you get the upside if you get way more card draw and more spells. Stormcatch Mentor. Yeah, we might just have to kill that. As much as we would like to plot this Pitiless Carnage, I feel like there's so many things we want to do. Cachet Grab would be good, potentially make a plant token, plot the Pitiless Carnage would be good, but it's just so risky to let Stormchase Mentor live. The cost reduction could really let our opponent pop out. Also, graveyards are kind of bugged at the moment. They don't pull up always. Storm Chaser talent number 2. Very curious how good Storm Chaser's talent is. I think it's probably good just because 1/1 prowess is good. Well, let's Cachet Grab. See if we can hit our land drop. Okay, that works. So we can get back a Mortuary. Play the land. Oh, we'd really like to plot this Pitiless Carnage. Keep it. Do we Urborg repossession? Yeah, let's Urborg repossession. This gets us a blocker, which I think is relevant. We could wait and try to do it next turn to trigger the Stormsplitter, but I think this is better here. Plus, next turn, if the plant lives, we have enough mana, we can cast a 2-drop anyway. We really just want to plot the Pitiless Carnage. If we can plot the Pitiless Carnage, we should win. Opponent, all right, has a shock. Gonna take down the plant, sure. Palms the Otters. Well, how bad is it? How much damage are we taking here? Only 4? Only 4 would be fine. We could deal with only 4. Opponent gets in, hits us. Do they actually have an answer to Insidious Roots? Lightning strikes our face. All right. Yeah, so we're dropping to 9. Well, we draw the land, play the land, plot the Carnage. So I think we plot the Carnage, and then we can also Questing Druid to draw a couple cards, and then hopefully we win next turn. Actually, maybe we gotta run out the Dread Knight. This might be even better. I think we need a blocker here. Just the Pitiless Carnage should be enough to win us the game, because we can sack all of our land, so we just have to not die. I think this is better, so we can chump block this turn. We did accidentally tap that Pain land. If we lose by 1 point of damage, if we lose by 1 point of damage, that's definitely a punt. I mean, I guess it's a punt either way, but so we chump block here, Stormsplitter, sack everything to Pitiless Carnage, all of our lands, and then hopefully just combo off. This does require your opponent not to have like some sort of weird answer. I don't like that they were looking at the Insidious Roots. I don't know if they were just reading Insidious Roots or if they actually have something that can answer it. Lightning Strike, okay. I mean, we're still not dead. But it's only got 1 blue mana, so they're not going to kill the Stormsplitter. I mean, I think we just win here, right? Elusive Otter. An island. No cards in hand. Okay, we should be good. And the Urborg repossession is good. Well, here we go. Happy fun times begin. Stormsplitter. And Urborg repossession. To get back, I guess, the Stormsplitter. Doesn't really matter. We just need to trigger our stuff. I guess we can get the Dread Knight. That's better. Get back the Dread Knight, because that's a spell we can cast. Now, Pitiless Carnage. For free, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sack them all, and the plant, draw, oh, that should be enough, that should do it. Okay, so, no lands, no problem, the reverse flawless victory, Seek the Beast, 4 Stormsplitters, so good, and Mosswood Dread Knight, 8 more Stormsplitters, and at this point, we're like, kind of functionally infinite, and we still have a Pitiless Carnage that we can use to sack a bunch of tokens if we need to. I'm pretty sure at this point, we won't do it because it's disrespectful, but we could just token limit here. We could draw our entire deck and make 250 Stormsplitters to win the game. But we'll just go a little further. It's always stuff I want to see how spectacular the deck can be, but I also don't want to rub it in. I don't even know if we draw here. I don't even think we need to. Yeah, we'll just submit 0. I mean, 0 mana make like 30 Otters is pretty good. And here comes the Storm, and well, that was close. Opponent almost got us to dead, but we found our way through. Otter time. Oh, this deck's, when it goes off, it is super sweet. We are doing some storm splitting in Bloomburrow Standard. Can we make all the Otters with the help of Insidious Roots? In this hand, interesting. We got Pitiless Carnage. We got the Stormsplitter. No roots. We got to find Das Roots. Das Roots, Das Boots. I guess we just draw some cards. Ooh, okay. Cachet Grab's really good. Cachet Grab's really nice because it can hopefully grab us an Insidious Roots, which would make life so much easier. Croakies. Oh, Croakies. I wish we were playing our budget Magic deck. Looking at this mana base, if we were playing the budget Lynx big red deck, oh, Croakies, you'd be in so much trouble. Fortunately for you, we're playing a janky pile of Stormsplitter opponent. Gonna grab a basic Plains, probably better known as cheating against our our Lynx. The roots. Oh god, wait, do we just win? We don't win this turn. We could have interaction though. They can have interaction. How do we do this? What we want to do is play the roots, cachet grab, make a token, and then untap next turn, literally combo off, win the game. That's the plan. I guess we Fabled Passage and thin the deck a smidge. I guess we'd rather have more red. And Cachet Grab. Do a little milling. Grab I guess a Stormsplitter, so we make a token. Alright, well, past the turn. I mean, okay. Ancient Cornucopia, sure. And a tap land. Wait, we should just win, right? I think we just win. With the Pitiless Carnage plotted, we should just win. Here goes. They only have 1 mana. How does this go wrong? All right, Stormsplitter. And let's Mosswood Dread Knight. Oh, there could be Leyline Binding. That card still exists post-rotation. We draw land. I mean, we're not going to not go for it. Pitiless Carnage. Trigger, trigger. Croakies. Croaky. No! Oh. Yeah, we don't have enough token. Yeah. Now I don't even know how much we want to sack. Yeah, let's just sack the plant. We're going to chip in for some damage. Hit ya. Ah, that might have been wrong. We probably should have... Yeah, I think we should have probably sacked the Stormsplitter tokens. Getting in for 4 there doesn't do much. We definitely would have been better off just drawing more cards. Cornucopia. Yeah, I think that was a little punt. All right, Ancient Cornucopia, bone it. Draws and gains up to 24. I mean, the good news is we don't really care about the life gain, right? Because when we combo, we make, well, I guess we're capped at 250 damage because of the token limit. So as long as our opponent doesn't get above 250, we don't really care because we're going to make all the Otters. There goes Stormsplitter, but we do have a backup and even more backups. Well, Mosswood Red Knight and also Mosswood Dread Knight and also tap land and go. Well, backup plan assembled. Beat down with the Dread Knights, like we're playing Modern Jund with Richard. Opponent mills a Cavern of Souls and Pisa. Gains a bunch of life, makes a bunch of fish. Well, we need, oh boy, we actually need a lot now. We need another Roots, and we need spells. Let's do some attacking. We actually kind of want a Dread Knight to die so we can draw a card. Kill it, Pisa, kill it. Nope. All right. Well, I don't feel like running out Stormsplitter is very worth it here. We can maybe run out 1 since we have 2, but... Well, here comes the attack. We'll kill the Pisa. Take 2. And Boning gonna do some survey. Oh, that Leyline Binding was so brutal. We had it, too. We had it. Oh, herd migration. All right. Yeah, that's not great news. Well, Cachet Grab. Find us the Roots. The problem is we don't have any spells left. Ugh. All right, so we can take a Questing Druid. Seek the Beast. Well, I mean, there's a Roots. There is a world. There is a world. A spell? Not a spell. Okay, there is a world where we could chain this together. We kind of need to draw a Pitiless Carnage. Well, there's the attack, so we block and block. Take our beats. There is a world. It all comes down to this top deck. We dropped it 3. We got a shot. We got a shot. We got a shot. Dread Knights go to the graveyard. Oh! We could have guessed the Dread Knights from the graveyard. Oh, boo. Trying to combo off. Doing some insidious Otter storming in Bloomburrow Standard. Opponent starts on the tap land. This hand looks pretty good. We got the Roots, we got the Carnage, we got the Stormsplitter. We actually have everything we need. Oh boy, here comes the Otters. Well, land. No spell pierces in this standard, so you don't got to worry about 1 mana counters. Oh, about it. Ooh, Valley Flamecaller. Okay, that's a clock. That's a clock. This would be one of those matchups where play draw really matters. I feel like with our opponent being on the play, we might be too slow. I think we got to kill the Valley Flamecaller. As much as we'd like to Cachet Grab or get this Pitiless Carnage plotted, I think we just got to kill it. It's too risky to let it live. Too much damage. Well, okay, that kind of backfired because there's another one. Although we would have taken so much damage if the second one was alive. Well, let's play the land. I think we just gotta plot the Carnage. I think we gotta just hope we live. Plot the Carnage. Maybe we can combo kill next turn. Another Storm Chaser Stanlet. Well, this is going to be super interesting. Opponent gets in, hits us. Down to 9. I mean, we're gonna go for the win. We have to go for the win. If we had one more turn as setup, I would feel way more confident. But in theory, Stormsplitter's 4. Pitiless Carnage is free. That makes a token. We have 1 mana left over, so we can cast a 2-drop. Like, the math works. The math does work. Opponent has 2 mana up, so they could have interaction. Well, I mean, we gotta try it. We're under too much pressure. Like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the creature land. Yeah, we're definitely dead if we don't go for it. So, well, save a Stormsplitter. Your only hope. Here goes nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's Otter time. If our we do have a bunch of spells in hand. This could work. It could work. And we get to draw a ton with Carnage. So float the mana. Pitiless Carnage. Once again going for the reverse flawless victory here. And we still have 2 mana left. Oh, that's a lot of... Oh, wow. I think we actually do win here. Okay, so mana, and doesn't really matter. Cachet grab. Stormsplitter, Stormsplitter. And now we should be functionally infinite. Do they... Oh... Well, that's the risk of sacking all your lands. We are trying to make all the Otters, playing some Insidious Otter Storm in Bloomburrow Standard. Oh boy, okay, we need a revenge. We need a revenge on the Otters. On the Otters, yeah, the Otters got us once. But we need to show them what a real Otter deck does. Opponent, land. So opponent's playing Otter Prowess by the looks. Does a little plotting of a highway robbery. Well, play land. Get down Dust Roots and pass the turn. This hand is like a Stormsplitter away from being exactly what we want. Because we have the Carnage, we have the Roots. Opponent. More highway robbery. Okay. I'm also a Dread Knight. Well, I mean, we can Cachet grab. Probably make a plant. Let's Pitiless Carnage. Let's just plot it. The risk is if they're playing Slickshot Show Off with these 2 highway robberies plotted, we could actually take a ridiculous amount of damage. Hopefully they're not doing that though. Highway robbery. Okay, that's fine. If they're just casting these to pump their Otter, that is acceptable. Discards a land. Highway robbery, sure. Discards a land, and wait, are they just gonna level that up? 4 mana, get back the highway robbery. Discard a land, pump the Otter. Oh my god, that's Stormsplitter. Well, odds of winning next turn increasing dramatically. We can't win this turn. We're a mana short. We could Pitiless Carnage, but we only get 1 mana worth of tokens. So let's do some milling. Let's get back a Questing Druid. Play the land, and pass the turn. All right, so now all we really want is our opponent to preferably just, like, tap down. If we get into the Flood mod on our Insidious Roots again, I'm gonna cry. I will cry. Okay, highway robbery, sure, yes. Yeah. Ooh, not a land. Okay. Some janky removal. Caught in the crossfire. Yeah, let's Seek the Beast. We have enough spells that I think this is worth it. Urborg Repossession and a land and an Urborg Repossession. We have 1 creature in the graveyard. We gotta do it. If we get blown out a second time, I'm gonna be so sad. But hopefully this works. I mean, Stormsplitter? No interaction, please? It's cool, opponent. Don't worry about it. Urborg Repossession. Get back a Stormsplitter. Make a Stormsplitter, which makes mana. Okay. No interaction yet. Make a plant. Sure, not that it really matters. 1 and 2. Seek the Beast. Trigger. The storm is coming. Okay, that's a go for the throat. That works. That keeps the fun going. Go for the throat. Kill the Otter. Send a message. No Otters allowed. Only our Otters allowed. Seriously. The good news is this time we didn't sack all of our lands. So opponent did have the Into the Flood Maw, but we didn't Pitiless Carnage this time. So now we can just run it back next turn. Oh. We can run it back next turn and just try again. Opponent, gonna what, double shock the Stormsplitter? That's fine. We have a second one. Well, okay. Opponent had the answer, ish, but it's a temporary answer. What was your? Oh, never see the blue one, huh? I don't. Wow, and plot. All right, opponent is. Well, now they're definitely dead. They're fully tapped out. Here comes the Roots. Here comes Urborg Repossession. Grab Stormsplitter. Make a token. And land and Stormsplitter. And now we know there's no chance of our opponent interacting. Mosswood Red Knight. Split the Storm. And Pitiless Carnage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, draw 10. Sack all the lands. And, yeah, I mean, go for the throat. You're God, I guess. You have a new God now, opponent. It's Stormsplitter. That's how you win with no lands, and that's how we overcome the interaction. It was looking scary for a minute, but thankfully we could rebuild that time. Well, I guess we can be the better Otter deck. Yeah, we got no Stormsplitter, but otherwise this hand's perfect. So I would say the important cards in this deck, the two big ones, Insidious Roots and Stormsplitter, those are like 1A and 1B. We don't do the thing without those two cards. Secondarily, I would say plot cards, especially Pitiless Carnage, but having something you can plot to be a free spell during the combo turn is probably the next most important thing. And then after that, everything's kind of replaceable. Like they're all spells that trigger our stuff and let us do the big turn thing. We have the Roots, we got the plot stuff. We just got to find Stormsplitter itself. Well, land go. So let's see what our opponent's up to. About it, Schwamp, and Iridescent Vine Lash, okay. Doing some land shenanigans, perhaps. Well, I mean, let's get down Insidious Roots. Not a lot of people playing discard in, like, their random decks. There's some discard decks, but haven't seen a lot of just, like, Duresses in the main deck or anything, but still probably worth getting down the Roots. Does a little pinging. We can kill this Vine Lash at some point, although I don't know if we need to yet. So if we wanted Pitiless Carnage, we have to play the Sulphurous Springs. I think it's worth it. Let's get it plotted. We're getting to the point where if we just find a Stormsplitter, not next turn, but in 2 turns, we should just win. Opponent. Fetch land. Yep. Evolving Wilds. I wonder if there's something like the Teamer Analyst deck that'll replace some of the missing pieces with Vine Lash. Go for the Throat. Well, our land's going to be tapped either way. Let's Surveil. We'll keep it. It does get us 2 cards deeper. I think we do just kill the Vine Lash now in response to the fetching. Might as well get rid of it. There is a chance that our opponent... Well, I guess I can't really... There's no Splendid Reclamation anymore. So if they're trying to do mass land reanimation, they need Analyst or Luma, whatever. Ooh. All right. There's a Nissa and a fetch land. Come on. Not Analyst. How about another Nissa? One more Nissa? Maybe? Okay, that's good. Another Nissa is good. That's better than our opponent hitting Analyst there. And Tyvar. Okay, to get back the Vine Lash.
Impressed?
All right, this is a little scary, a little bit. Well, let's play the Copperline Gorge, plot the Highway Robbery. So I think we just pass. We can leave up the go for the Throat if we're about to die. Otherwise, we Questing Druid and hope that we hit a Stormsplitter, because if we do, we should just win the game. We've reached that point. It seems like the magic number is 5. 5 lands. I don't know if there's a way we can win with less than 5 mana. I think 5 mana is the number that we need to start the combo. Opponent, land, and Nissa, and cracks the fetch land to trigger Nissa. So what's the worst case here? Is they hit the Analyst, they play the Analyst, they reanimate all their lands. I guess if they do that, okay, there's the Analyst. They play the Analyst. Let's kill the Vine Lash. They can't Tyvar. So they can reanimate a bunch of lands if they want to, but that doesn't actually do anything. And there's 3 Vine Lashes in the graveyard now. So unless they have the very last Vine Lash, or I guess another Tyvar, but they don't have enough mana, opponent gets and hits us. And untaps it. Come on, hold. Oh, pillage. Okay, that's fine though. That's fine, right? They pillage the bog. Even if they find the Vine Lash though, they don't have enough mana for the Analyst, so we're gonna get a turn. Oh my god, that's Stormsplitter. Oh wow. Okay, that was as good of a draw as we could find. So, well, we're gonna do the thing. Opponent could have like, I guess like, go for the throat maybe? Does that stop us? Go for the throat would be annoying, but, well, okay. Stormsplitter, and float a mana, and Pitiless Carnage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sack all the lands. Draw 5. Ooh, it does not feel like our opponent has interaction. So let's make a red. Seek the Beast. 2 Stormsplitters. Okay, Cachet Grab's good. Cachet Grab's good. And then, we should be good now. We should be good. Seek the Beast. 4 Stormsplitters. And we still have the Highway Robbery. We still have to go for the throat. There's another questing. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're easy good. We're easy good. Highway Robbery. Split the Storm. Wow, that was close. Our opponent almost got us with another Penniless Carnage, too. We can just draw our deck here if we want to. Well, Cachet Grab. Do a little milling. Make a few Otters. Thank you, opponent. Yes, it is. It is pretty nice when it all comes together with this deck. Grab a Swamp. Yeah, let's go for the throat, the Nissa. I believe that this should do it. That's just a few Stormsplitters, just a handful. Oh, the battlefield looks so funny with no lands. We will just respectfully kill our opponent. Like, I feel bad. It's early access day. We don't want to sit here and like rub it in and just like cast all the spells. We have like super lethal damage anyway, but we could do this up to the token limit, but well, that's how you split the storm. That's how you split the storm. Insidious Otter Storming. And that looks fine. We got the Insidious Roots. No Stormsplitter yet. But seems reasonable. See what our opponent's up to. Green A. Ginger Brute. Huh. Alright, well, let's Copperline George and get down the roots. Ship the turn. Opponent, Swamp, and gets in for 1. So our opponent's a food deck of some kind. Interesting. Well, there's a Pitiless Carnage. I mean, yeah, we're not under that much pressure. I think we just get the Carnage down and hope that we find the Stormsplitter before it's too late. Getting in for 4. We can draw some cards with the Questing Druids if we have to. Opponent. Ooh, Viper. Okay, interesting. Well, that's a clock. We'll discard a Questing Druid, which we can get back with Urborg Repossession, make a plant. This is going to be close. So Cachet Grab. Mill. Oh, there's a Stormsplitter. But can we survive the snake? That's the problem. That is the issue. So we make a plant. Pass the turn, I guess. The problem is we're at 14. And the snake hits for 14. Oh, and they can kill the plant too. So we have to discard a card. Yeah, let's seek the beast. Let's see what we hit. 2 lands, so that's not helpful. So we'll discard Urborg Repossession. Opponent. And Thornvault Forager. I guess the other way we could do this is wait, kill the snake. If we Stormsplitter, I don't know if we can actually, I don't think we can actually win. It would be close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Stormsplitter. Float a black mana. Pitiless Carnage. Zag all the lands. We just need to hit spells here, right? We need to hit a bunch of spells. Zag all the lands. Oh, okay. A Go for the Throat is a spell, so we can kill the snake. But we didn't hit any more card draw. Oh, the fizzle. The fizzle. Go for the Throat the squirrel. And then hit you for a bunch, but not anywhere near enough. We needed it a card draw. We needed like 1 more card draw spell. But now the problem is we're back at that same place. Sacking all your lands to Pitiless Carnage is great when you win. It is not as good if you don't win. Well, we came here to Otter Storm and we tried to Otter Storm. We're just gonna run out our hand and get in for 1. Thankfully, we do have a couple lands left in hand, so the game's not just over, but we really need to draw something. We have double roots. If we could get a way to trigger that, it would be nice, because that'll let our tokens make mana. Bitter Triumph kills the Stormsplitter, discards the last card. Well, go Questing Druid. Land. Alright, that doesn't do anything. Oh man, that was unfortunate. Is there anything, I mean, I guess we could have tried to just not combo that turn and wait, but that feels so bad. We could have just like killed the snake, tried to play, oh, there's another Insidious Roots. If we ever get anything back from our graveyard, look out. Grow the Questing Druid, hit you for 3. Opponent untaps. Camella. Oh, that's an issue just because it has Menace, which means unless we top deck something, we die just to then attacking us. We've had plenty of games where we haven't comboed, but this is the first time I think that we've, oh, another land. Well, that does it. I think that's our first true fizzle, right? But, got a lot of removal. We have some card draw. I think it's fine. I don't think we mulligan it. It's not likely to combo super early in the game, but not likely to die super early in the game, so that's a win. What are you up to, opponent? Ooh, Dimir A. Let's just start on the Surveil Land. Yeah, we do need more mana. We'll keep it. Keep Surveil Land number 2. Opponent. I'm gonna do a little surveilling of their own. Some Undercity Sewers action. Well, we will Copperline Gorge and draw with the Dread Knight. So what is our opponent doing? Dimir. Could be rats. Could be just like a control deck. Could be just mid-range. Face down card. Okay. Well, let's Mosswood Dread Knight. And tap land. And we'll mill the Copperline Gorge, I think. Well, we have a blocker. So face down. Oh, this might be some Coveted Falcon shenanigans. When I see Dimir with a face down creature, that's what I think of at least. I'll play the Swamp. Not that that's like a popular deck, but I have seen people doing that before, trying to like donate a Archfiend or something. I'll play the land, stay on defense. I think we'll just pass. We have these 2 Questing Druids, so we can start drawing some cards. We have the go for the Throat Up if our opponent plays something worth killing. Opponent Fable Passage and cracks it for a Schwamp. And ooh, probably gonna have to kill that. Maha's very large. It is very large. We don't really care about 1 toughness on our creatures too much, but we do care about a 6/5 flying trampler. Well, Questing Druid. Ooh, double Stormsplitter. I mean, I guess that's sort of okay. It's awkward. It is awkward that we hit 2 of them. We would have much rather hit a land in a Stormsplitter, but at least that finds us a Stormsplitter. We're gonna discard this Questing Druid, kill the Maha. We're gonna lose, well, there's a land. We're gonna lose 1 of them, but we can get down the Stormsplitter. We're not ready to combo yet, but we have the Urborg Repossession. So worst case, even if they kill it, at least it's out of our deck. We have access to it for when we do find the roots and want to go off. All right, opponent, what do you got? Surveil Land. Opponent could have a lot of removal. Ugh. Oh, more Mahas. Okay. Well, let's Cachet Grab. We really just need to find the roots. Come on, let's mill it. Let's mill the roots. Ugh. All right. Well, I guess we get a land. That's better than literally nothing. Very slightly. Can we win fairly with Stormsplitters? Is that possible? So we can Maha, kill Maha. What are we discarding now? I really don't want to discard the Urborg Repossession. Do we discard the land? Maybe we just discard the land. Well, kill the Maha, make some Stormsplitters, discard the land. We would have liked the land. We don't really want to discard any of these cards. All of these cards we would like to actually have access to, but, well, Maha 2 down, and then smack you a little bit with a few Stormsplitters. Yeah, it seems hard to win fairly with Stormsplitter. Maybe in like the Otter Prowess deck you could, but our deck, it seems, we just can't really cast enough spells realistically without the extra mana, I don't think. What is this face down creature? Gotta be Willbender, right? Always Willbender. Jeez, so many big flyers, good lord. Archfiend of the Dross, yes. Yes, opponent, we get it. You love big flying black creatures. Highway Robbery. Well, I mean, we can take a hit here, right? We don't just die. We could start doing some plotting. We can like Urborg Repossession back, Questing Druid. We can Urborg Repossession back multiple things, but I think it's best just to just to get the plot going. That is one way we could actually win fairly, I think, with Stormsplitter, is if we just plot enough stuff, maybe we can just like cast enough spells in a turn to win even without Insidious Roots. Obviously, finding Insidious Roots would make it way easier. Opponent taking down the Archfiend. I mean, we are taking a big smack here. Surviving 2 Mahas only to have the Archfiend come down is brutal. Oh, there are some big flyers in Standard these days. I mean, they do just die. Maha has ward, Archfiend doesn't, but you can just kill them, which we saw. Like, the Maha did get a lot of value, though. Even just dying right away, having to pay the ward cost, still ended up being a 2-for-1. Wail of the Forgotten, gonna do a little digging. Okay, we're gonna assume this is a Coveted Falcon. That's the only thing that makes sense to me with what we're seeing. Is there more shenanigans to this than just waiting until Archfiend gets down to 1? Or 0? We're gonna die to it. All right, they're gonna bounce the Stormsplitter. Well, considering they're a black deck and could have just killed it, that's kind of fine. Do we just cachet grab? We need the roots. We need the roots. Where's the roots? So mill 4, no roots, but we get a land. Well, we've gotten through almost half of our deck now and just cannot find the roots. No roots for us this game. We are on a clock too, thanks to this silly Archfiend. Well, let's Urborg Repossession. Get back the Questing Druid. We just gotta keep digging. Gotta keep digging for the roots. I think that's really our only plan here. We could also dig for Go for the Throw. If we hit another Go for the Throw to deal with the Archfiend, that would also be acceptable. Well, let's pass. Opponent digging down the Archfiend. Down to 2 oil counters. Hits us. Down to 9. They also have a creature land that we have to be aware of. That could be a thing. We're actually kind of close to being dead. Opponent's gonna pass 4 cards in hand. Well, let's Seek the Beast. All right, Mosswood Dread Knight. Land. Oh, if we had Insidious Roots, we'd be in such great shape. Can we live another turn? I mean, we can start trying to draw more cards. Maybe we gotta like Highway Robbery. Highway Robbery. We gotta at least find an answer to this Archfiend. So Highway Robbery, discard the Dread Knight. All right, that's a Go for the Throw. That's good news-ish. Let's plot a Highway Robbery. And yeah, let's just run out of Dread Knight. We need an extra blocker for this creature land. And then we'll stay on defense. Upkeep, we'll try to kill this Archfiend. All right, there's the Archfiend. Well, kill it, hopefully. If they have a counter here, we're pretty close to dead. On the other hand, I guess we can do some like weird desperation. We can like cast Stormsplitter, sack all of our lands to Pitiless Carnage and hope we draw into the roots. That might be our plan next turn if we don't just find the roots. That might be what we have to do. We might just have to YOLO it and hope and pray to the magic gods that we find the roots. Opponent gonna flip the Coveted Falcon, give us the Archfiend, draw a couple cards. The Archfiend will still die. Okay, this is actually kind of fine. So opponent's gonna get to draw some cards. However, they use some of their mana. We now know that it was indeed a Coveted Falcon. Opponent Geth. Okay. Opponent tapping down on mana is also not bad for us. Gives them with the Falcon to steal back their land. All right, let's just draw the roots. We've gone through half of our deck, magic gods. All right, that's a land. Let's play the land. Let's play the Stormsplitter. And let's float a little bit of mana. Well, here goes nothing. Pitiless Carnage. Are we tapped properly? Green, red, black, black. Black, red. We need roots mana, and then we want red mana left and green mana left. Let's try it like that. All right, Pitiless Carnage. Stormsplitter. Triggers. They could cut down the real Stormsplitter, but we still get the token copy. If that was their plan, they probably should have done it earlier, although they probably didn't know. Into the Flood Moss. So many Into the Flood Moss, my god. All right, that's fine. We still get the token. We are going to sack everything. So lands go. I guess we can keep the Dread Knights in case we have to try to win fairly. I don't think that's possible, but we'll keep the Dread Knights. Oh, thank goodness. All right, there's the roots. So we can play the roots. And then we can Highway Robbery. Discard a land. Make a token. Oh, here comes all the roots. Draw a couple cards. Highway. Ooh! Oops. Huh. Well, that was not exactly the plan. So we'll plot that highway robbery. It doesn't really actually matter here. We're still gonna win. Herbivore repossession. Make 2 tokens. And a plant token. And now let's make sure we don't accidentally do any plotting here. Highway robbery. Discard and draw. Get rid of Stormsplitter, which we can get back with the Herbivore repossession. And I think we did it. Wow, overcoming the control deck, cachet grab, mill some cards, and the Otters will not be stopped. The storm has split. Yeah, about it. What do you got? What do you got? I mean, they're tapped out, so there's no way they're gonna stop it. Herbivore repossession. Get back the Stormsplitter. Make a bunch of Otters. And I mean, we could just keep doing this all day, but we don't really need to. Like, at this point, we have the pitiless carnages, so we can draw our deck. We can draw our entire deck and make the token limit of Otters. Insidious Roots. On early access day, though, I try not to go too far because they have the rule about not scooping. So I try not to abuse that. Like, we could cast a bunch more spells. If it was not early access day, I'd do it because our opponent could just scoop. But in this case, we'll have to settle for attacking with, 30, 40 Otters. Well, that's Insidious Otter Storm. When it works, the deck is pretty sweet. So what did we learn this week about Insidious Otter Storm in Standard? So obviously, we're playing during early access day. Record-wise, I think we're a bit under 50% win rate with the deck, but it's early access day. It's really hard to make much sense of records on early access day just because people are trying new things in new decks, so it doesn't really represent the new Standard meta overall. But I will say about this deck, it's really sweet and powerful when it combos off. It struggles a bit against aggro because if you think about our deck, we really need to get to 4 or 5 mana to be able to do the combo and win the game. Plus, we need to find multiple pieces. So if our opponent wins the die roll and they're playing like mice or rabbits or one of these super aggro decks, there's a reasonable chance that we just end up dying before we get to the combo. On the other hand, once we start comboing, the deck is absurd. And we had a bunch of games with the deck where we could have made literally infinite storms. And I guess not literally infinite, because eventually we'd run out of spells to cast and draw our entire deck, but we can make millions and millions of storm splitters. Sadly, arena token limits us at 250, so we can't actually go too far without breaking arena. But once the combo gets going, it's super hilarious, and it actually was relatively easy to pull off. We did see a couple times where we saw the downside of like sacking all of our lands to Pitiless Carnage, where our opponent would like wait till we started to copy and then bounce the Insidious Roots or something, and we sacked all our lands and it was really bad. But in general, the combo was super game winning, and it's just so fun and spectacular. So that's Insidious Otter Storm. That's been our first Bloomburrow against Oz. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Looking for even more magic? Well, check out this week's Budget Magic, where we played some big red in Bloomburrow Standard, or maybe the video where Richard and I found out what's best, a 2014 Modern deck or a 2024 Standard deck.